Hey YouTube, first things first. For those of you who did not know, I left my home. I left England onto a journey of self-discovery. This isn't the video with the wild, amusing compilation events that unfolded, though I promise that that one will be viewable soon. This is more of a personal message, like one for myself, delivered to me, but feel free to include yourself. And if you're not interested, that's fine. I suggest you go and sit back a few days and wait for the laughs to come back. I'll begin. Roughly 4 months ago, I remember feeling a dramatic sense of lost anticipation. See, to my eyes, it looked like the queasy self-loathing I get whenever I feel like life has become remedial, something that continued to develop until it unsheathed itself. But it was different. I am 18 years old, I remember saying to myself, a pinnacle age, and without the choice commitments anchoring me to the ground, a job, a girlfriend, and my parents had just split up, my friends would understand. I wanted to leave, and go for an adventure. To test myself, maybe a challenge to survive. With a date set, the day after my last commitment, the day my father returns to work, and exactly 2 months before I turned 19, preparation ensued. And suddenly, the moment was here, and I was gone, hitchhiking across the south coast. This was one of 3 low moments of my journey. It was too easy. I reached Calais in France before the first day had ended. I'd spent nothing, and I'd waited for a total of about 45 minutes at roadside. I accepted 5 lifts from Lainey, an old couple, Jay, John and Leon, and Fat Pasty Man. I found a school field and I set up my hammock. Waking was the second low moment of my journey. What were these feelings rushing through my head? I was questioning why I wasn't at home, a nice warm bed, looking forward to a comfortable day, socially networking, playing RuneScape and getting hammered. Fortunately, I quashed these thoughts to the back of my head, where they could only whisper their sophistry. The trip seemed damper after that. I would never admit that. The next low moment came sometime later in Antwerp, Belgium. I was looking for the statue of Sylvius Brabo, the legendary man who was said to have cut off the hand of a tyrant judge who was terrorising the town, and he threw it in the river. Hence Antwerpen, hand thrower. A sweet girl named Janina, who I asked for directions to the statue, offered me a place on her kitchen floor. And after sorting out my belongings, she opted to take me to a large speedcore rave. Obviously I gratefully accepted. And here's the bit that my parents would do better not to listen to. I was bought a drink by a nice young lady with dreadlocks, but unknown to me, when I had been inattentive, it had been spiked. I instantly began to feel really heavy and really tired, and I knew that I would collapse. Not speaking the language and being unable to locate my friend, I knew I had to get out of there. I remember stumbling out of the club and developing the spotty black ringes you get when you get up too fast. I remember walking and then blacking out. When I awoke, or regained consciousness, I was leaning against a wall, somewhere in the middle of the city, and it hit me. Lost everything. I had no idea where Yanina's house was, and I had no idea where this party was. And at the house was everything. My passport, my clothes, my phone, and my money. I stumbled the streets for the next 3 hours between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning, just a t-shirt and jeans. And I can tell you the sun had no intention of rising. Already I'd led down on the street a few times before forcing myself back onto my feet. I think this was probably the lowest moment, if not of the trip, but of my life. When, what did I stumble across but the statue of Sylvius Brabo. Back on my feet, I switched my brain back on. Okay, I need to get to my things. By finding the house, or by finding my friend. I have no idea where the house is. I do know where she is. The party, which has just finished. So she should still be there. I've got 15 euros, and pocket fluff. I could get a taxi there, but I still have no idea where it is. Sprinting through the streets, I found exactly what I was looking for. A poster of the party that I was going to. I ripped it down. He's hailing a taxi that already had a passenger. I said it was an emergency, and he must have thought that I really needed to rave. He drove for a very long time, which makes me think that maybe I was quite far away. I saw the club, and immediately I jumped out of the taxi. I caught sight of Janina walking away from the club. 20 seconds later, and I would have missed her. And everything returned. Nothing was lost. I didn't think I'd make it. I thought that I'd lost everything. But suddenly everything was back to normal and nothing was different, nothing was changed. Crisis averted. I believe Kanye West said it rightly when he said, "Whatever doesn't kill me will only make me stronger." I learnt a lot about myself that night. Flitting memories of training in the woods, house parties, cuddles, pub quiz, Barcelona, like sycamore seeds. And I was wrong, and I joyfully admit that. I love being able to say that I was wrong. I do care. With great pride I say that I do miss. I miss my father's Mancunian charm. I miss my mother's overprotective tone. I miss my brother's sarcastic wit. I miss Lottie's obsession and Andy's obvious statements. I miss Schenker's religion, Nabil's Gryffindor face, popping the Kiddle on, the angry Jackson. quoting director Toby, the way Charlie sticks her tongue out and says, bleh. Tickner's brain, Captain Cunliffe. Insecure Andy J, the guys from Southampton. The overdramatics of Jamie Rogers, the ocarina of Jamie Rowe. The endless football factory quotes from Matthew Scott. Andy W's wob wob. Calling Lance Lance. Tom Rooney is saying, were you actually gonna buy me a kebab? Joe McAdams' face. Pinchy Joe, spelling Abby wrong. Sponsored free runner. Defensive Nick. Millie's link noises. And every other insignificant action and person that means the world to me. I implore every single one of you to lose everything, because only once we have lost everything are we free to do anything. And when you've had enough of anything, remember that everything is still waiting for you back home. And that's all I really wanted to talk about today. So, for those reasons explained, I think I've learned everything that I wanted to learn about myself from leaving. I had fun, can survive. By the way, I'm coming home now.